roaming the halls of the Effingham County Sheriff's Office, you'll find Deputy Dale. On this episode of the Paw Report, we pack up the gear and head south to meet this friendly pooch who spends his days bringing comfort to people in need. Stay with us.
It's almost impossible to imagine life without internet today. It keeps us connected to work, school, and loved ones, no matter where they are. Fidium Fiber Internet now serves over 1 million locations, providing reliable, consistent service that keeps these connections strong. From vibrant cities to quiet rural areas, fiber broadband is a key driver of economic growth. Fidium is dedicated to supporting communities and enhancing lives through this essential technology. Learn more at fidiumfiber.com.
At Tender Touch Grooming, we groom dogs of all sizes and breeds tenderly. Our team pampers your furry friend with care because every pet deserves a tender touch. Appointments are available via text at 217-317-9489.
The Paw Report on WEIU is supported by Rural King, America's farm and home store, livestock feed, farm equipment, pet supplies, and more. You can find your store and more information regarding Rural King at ruralking.com.
Dave's Decorating Center is a proud supporter of the Paw Report on WEIU. Dave's Decorating Center features the Mohawk Smart Strand Silk Forever Clean Carpet. Dave's Decorating Center, authorized Mohawk Color Center in Charleston.
Well, we've packed up our camera gear, we've left the WEIU studios in Charleston, and we've traveled to Effingham, to the Effingham County Sheriff's Office. And no, we've not done anything wrong. We're here for a very good reason, and we're joined by the Sheriff of Effingham County, Paul Kuhns, and Deputy Alex Ritz. Thank you so much for joining us, and we can't forget the four-legged friend down here. This is Deputy Dale. And we're here talking about a therapy program that just recently started here at the Sheriff's Office. And I've read Dale's story, I've read the story, the backstory, and we thought it would be a wonderful episode to share with our viewers. So, Sheriff and Deputy Alex Ritz, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for coming over. Yes.
Excellent. So back in December, word got out that the Sheriff's Department was adding a new deputy to the office, and a rather unique deputy, and he joins us here today. How did it all kind of get started to start the therapy program and bring Dale into the mix?
Well, I can attest to that. This is all Deputy Ritz's idea. That's how this got started. There's no doubt about that. And when he first came to me with this idea, I think I had a preconceived notion about canines because when I was a young officer, I was a canine handler. But when we started talking about this program and how it would be utilized, of course it's much different, a therapy dog, than the canine I had, which was a drug and apprehension dog. But what really sealed this for me is that we later had a case in our county where there were several children as victims of a crime, and those children had to testify. Mm-hmm. And I had always been opposed to having animals come in the courthouse, and there are several reasons for that. But a detective from Effingham City came to me and said, we would like to bring a therapy dog into the courthouse to be in the waiting room with the children before they testify, and we'd like you to authorize that, to let us do that. And of course, what could I say? Of course, we'll do that. And it was a therapy dog from a local person, Donna Rulo, had a therapy dog, brought it in, and my gosh, was it successful. Because everyone told me how much more at ease the children were when the dog was there. And they could talk to him and play with him and pet him. One of the parents of one of those children, one of the parents told me how nice that was. It was such a stress reliever. So, and I can see that because even though, we're in the courthouse a lot through work, but it would be a scary place, especially for a little kid that would have to talk about bad things. So when I saw that, I thought, well, absolutely there's a use for this program. And that was just a small thing. And I know Alex has, uses him for many more things, has other ideas, but that's what sold the program for me. That and it was fairly low cost, which, I'm a politician and an administrator, so I look at those things, but it was low cost, and probably most importantly, we had the right person for the job. We had someone, and I'm talking about Deputy Ritz, that was motivated to see the program succeed and was willing to put the work into it. So that's how he came here from my aspect.
How did you kind of decide, Alex, that this would be a great thing for the office?
Yeah, so I initially heard of therapy dogs being used by police departments from the U of I. University of Illinois has a therapy dog program, and so I knew police departments use therapy dogs. But I went to a school resource officer conference last year in Indianapolis in July, and one of the breakout sessions was utilizing therapy dogs as an SRO. And I've never thought about an SRO having a therapy dog, going to schools on a daily basis. So when I heard about that breakout session, I was like, wow, that would be really beneficial for the kids, because I see how the kids are stressed out and anxious and bringing, home problems to school, and having a dog, at school every day would be very beneficial for our students. So I brought the idea to Sheriff, and here we are. So
how did you go about actually getting Dale? I'm sure you can probably both answer that, but how did you find out about the rescue program that you ultimately got
Yeah,
Dale
so when
from?
I was doing my initial research into it to bring the Sheriff, I did talk to somebody from the University of Illinois Police Department, and she told me about the program down in Florida. She actually got her dog trained down there. Their dog was donated by a local resident, but she brought it down there to get trained. So she said that you can get dogs down there, like they will give you a dog for free. So I did a little more research into it and found out the cost, basically, and brought it to Sheriff.
And this
so.
is in Broward County, correct?
Brevard.
Or
Brevard, yeah,
Brevard
Brevard
County,
County.
yes.
Yep.
So once you kind of did your research, you filled out the application, and you found out that you were going to be able to get a therapy dog for the office. What kind of training went into, not just for Dale, obviously, but you as well?
Yeah, so the program down there is amazing. So the Brevard County Sheriff's Office is in charge of the animal rescue program down there too. So they take rescue dogs that are now owned by the Sheriff's Office, now the property of the Sheriff's Office down there, and they pair them with an inmate in the county jail. And the inmates will actually train the dogs to be pretty much therapy dogs. They train them in the sit, stay, the basic commands that that are required for a dog, the canine good citizen. So they'll work with the dogs. I think it's 3 hours a day, 7 days a week for 8 weeks or so. They will train the dogs, and so then basically when I get down there, the dog is pretty much certified. It's pretty much trained to do everything it needs to do.
They just have to train Alex.
They just have to train me. Exactly, yes. So the week-long training that I had to do down there was basically getting Dale used to me, getting me used to Dale, getting him used to listening to my commands, and then going out in public and just interacting with the public. We went to a Home Depot. We went to a really busy Ron John surf shop. Went to do like an outdoor mall thing. Just getting him interacting with people, getting him comfortable with me and me comfortable with him out in the setting with other people, other dogs. It was mainly just getting us used to each other.
Were you nervous at first? I mean, was it going through your mind, I hope this works out, I hope we have a connection?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
You just never know.
I never met Dale until I got down there. So I was, I don't know if I was nervous. I was just, man, I hope this works. Sheriff put a lot of trust and faith into me here. So hopefully this dog works. But when I saw Dale and interacted with him for the first time, I knew it was going to be good. So.
And you were kind of thinking you'd get this big burly dog,
yeah.
like a lab or a retriever.
So when I put on the initial application, I wanted a large, medium-sized dog, German Shepherd, Golden Retriever, whatever, and a female. And when I got down there, they gave me Dale. So, but it's all right.
Was Dale already named, or how did?
So Dale was already named. The rescue down there named him. And there was a brief instance when I thought about changing it. Me being in the schools, I thought about changing it to Chase or one of the Paw Patrol characters or whatever. Get the kids with a more familiar name. But once I was like, man, Dale. I was like, Officer Dale. I was like, yeah. But then I thought Deputy Dale. I was like, yeah, Deputy Dale. That's a good one. So
yeah, and he sort of looks like Dale.
He does. Now he does.
Yeah.
Both of you can answer this, but and Sheriff, you told a very eloquent story about the court case with the children, but what other situations would Dale be used for within the office?
And really, Alex should answer these, but I think one of my favorites is the reading program. And I'm taking this line from him, but the kids in one class all wrote letters to Dale, and then they were able to choose a book, and a children's book, and they read it to Dale. And there's probably something that's easier to read to Dale maybe than the teacher or parents. I really like that program. But I think, and Alex, I'll let him say this though, that Dale, he opens doors. He breaks down barriers, he opens doors with the kids, especially.
Is that his primary use, is with the younger, with the younger audience, I guess you could say?
That's what we utilize him mostly for, because he is with Deputy Ritz in the schools every day.
Yeah.
Any memorable cases? You shared one, but Alex, I know he's only been really on duty since December, so he's still new, but anything memorable that comes to mind in your daily routines? And it may not be a situation, it could have been maybe an interaction with the child, or maybe something on. Do you take him to scenes? I mean, if need be?
Yeah, so that's one of the main ones. There was a rollover accident, and I was close, but other deputies responded as well. They arrived on scene. Obviously made sure everybody was okay, no major injuries. But there was a little kid involved, so I was like, oh, this is a good time to get Dale out. Again, the kid wasn't hurt, nobody was injured too bad, so I wasn't going to get in the way of EMS or anything like that. So I got Dale out, and the kid was, excited, pet Dale a little bit. But what kind of surprised me and stuck out to me is the mom. Like, she obviously was shaken up because she just got in a real bad accident with her 1 or 2 year old kid. So the way she interacted with Dale, it was it was cool to see, because I thought the kid would be all about him, and he was, but the mom her reaction to Dale was pretty cool. So I have these little baseball cards, little trading card things that I have for Dale, and I gave one to the kid, and I think I gave one to the mom. So but yeah, just trying to go to traumatic or stressful situations or calls or whatever. Just try to use them really as the best way to utilize them, I guess. And when it involves young children, that's even more important. So
Sheriff, hearing stories like that just really reassures your justification for getting Deputy Dale.
It does, and though I've taken some criticism about Effingham County is a great community to live in. We're very well supported by the people here, but we do have serious problems. And I did take a little criticism for maybe investing resources in this program when we have serious crime, that needs attended to, problems. And I get that, I see that, I understand that, but I would like to tell people money and time-wise, I think it's been a great investment, because it's been very inexpensive. Of course, the key to this program is we have a handler that works so hard to make it successful. So that's the key to it. But it reassures me that we've done the right thing, and we've done a good thing, and I think you'll see, probably as we have success, you will see other police organizations probably in the area start programs like this also. That wouldn't surprise me.
If we can stay with you just for a moment, what has the atmosphere been like in the office? Alex, he comes to work with you every day, so that means people in the front office, other deputies, interns potentially. They get a dose of Dale.
We get a dose of Dale once in a while.
So what's it like around the hallways? And
I will joke about that, because when they come in, everybody says, "Oh, hey, Dale, Dale's here."
You.
No, they ignore the handler. Alex has got him with the leash, but it's all about
Alex.
Dale.
No.
You can feel, seriously though, I know when he's here, because I hear people, of course, talking about Dale, calling for Dale, wanting to play with Dale, and you can feel it. The atmosphere changes because he's here. And we joke about it that the sheriff's favorite deputy, he doesn't even hide it anymore. It's Dale.
Carries around a Sharpie and his little scarf.
It's the sheriff's favorite deputy is Dale. And if I'm not here, he comes to my door and looks in the window because I have toys there.
Oh, of course. The one you're hiding.
I know. I started that problem. I have a toy with me now. So he wants to come to my office and hang out because we have fun in there. But I'm not the only one. Everyone loves to see Dale, and it is uplifting.
Do you get calls from community groups? I mean, do you go and maybe do presentations about the therapy program to other organizations?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it's with the schools. A lot of the classrooms want me to come in and bring Dale in. But I have gone to a Boy Scouts. They asked me to come one night and present a presentation to them, and I think it was the drug court wanted me to bring him in and do a presentation this month, obviously with it being Mental Health Awareness Month. The date that they had picked, I have a wedding that day and can't make it too, so I think I'm going to try to reschedule. But yeah, I want to try to introduce him and let everybody know the benefits of him. So yeah,
Sure.
I would love to do presentations.
The double-edged sword to this, though, is that we get messages that maybe second floor would like to see Dale when he comes back. If he could go to third floor, second floor, or offices in other places of the
Yes.
building say, well, we would really like to have a therapy
Yes.
dog. So, I mean, there is that too, but that is the kind of effect that he has in the
sure.
office.
What's a typical day like? I mean, obviously you come in, do you head right to the schools, or you bring him every day, correct? I mean, that's kind of the training, the relationship building that you do with him. So take us through a day.
So yeah, when school's in session, obviously right now it's not, but when school's in session, yeah, we go to the schools. I'll just be walking down the hallways, and I'm sure for anybody not familiar with the school or a visit or whatever, to see a police officer in full uniform and gear, and having a little dog like Dale right there by his side, and having kids literally laying in the middle of the hallway of a school petting Dale. I'm sure that looks a bit funny at first to anybody not familiar with it, but I just basically walk the halls, and anybody that's out in the halls, I try to interact with them, try to bring Dale up. Obviously, they usually come up to me, and they usually see Dale before I see them. If there's somebody behind me, they'll yell "Dale" and want me to go pet him and stuff. So. But yeah, just basically
tell them what they say if you don't have Dale.
Yeah, so there was one I can't remember. I think I put him out in the car. I think he was tired or something. I left him out in the car, and went into the school, and the kid just kind of looked at me. He's like, "Where's Dale?" And I was like, "Oh, he's out in the car. I think he's taking a nap." And are you allowed to be in here without Dale? Or?
Can you even be in here?
I was like, yes, I'm allowed to be in here without Dale. Yes, I can.
That's
so,
funny.
but yeah, it's like now it's not normal for me not to have Dale. So
my biggest concern now is thank goodness he can't run for sheriff.
He'd
yeah,
win.
he's
popular.
Back to kind of a serious note with Dale, is there any particular time as officers that you see that Dale's services are needed more times than others? Is it maybe around the holidays, maybe it's summertime, have you noticed that?
I have not. I think that we as police officers, we see an uptick in mental health calls, maybe leading up to Christmas and that time. But of course, we haven't had Dale that long. We've had him for a little less than half a year. I don't see that yet, but maybe there will be. I don't know once we have him longer. But I think still, that's what we envision is he'll mostly be used in schools.
yeah.
What's your advice to other departments that, I won't say that you were necessarily skeptical because you came from a canine
No,
background.
I think you can say that.
Maybe Alex can say
Yeah.
that. But what's your, if when they're out there watching this episode and they check into it, what can you say to them as far as This is probably a good idea.
It is a good idea because it's a couple things come to mind. It's a tool. It's always available when the officer's there, and the expense is fairly low. Also, one thing I like about it, it gives our office a little bit different image to some people, because maybe when Dale's around, we are more approachable. We are more community oriented. We're more human when we have Dale. It gives us
Not
a little
so scary,
bit.
especially to
Yeah, it gives us a little bit of a different image. But I can say, if they're looking to start a program like this, the first and most important thing they have to have, though, is that handler. You have to have the right person. You have to have the right person that's willing to put in the work, that's outgoing, that will make the effort to go to the special events, take the extra mile, that's committed to it. That's the most important thing.
Not a 9 to 5.
That's for sure it's not, is
No,
it?
no, it is not. No, and I will say too, and I should have mentioned this too when we were talking about the program. And if departments are thinking about doing this, obviously they can pick whoever they want to. But the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, they take these rescue dogs, train them and stuff. But Dale was was free. Like Dale was free to us. The training, that week-long training, we didn't pay anything for that. All we had to pay for was my gas to go down there and my hotel for that week. So to have, and then so Dale obviously gets a forever home. We get a therapy dog for pretty cheap. And then the inmates, obviously I talked to one of them that trained Dale, and he had 2 dogs when he was outside of jail, and he said to be able to work with dogs on the inside makes his whole jail experience a little bit
Makes him
better.
a better person,
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Yeah,
Right.
it gives him a sense of self-worth, a sense of accomplishment, stuff like that. So that whole program is win-win-win in my opinion. So
When he's home and he's off the job and the scarf comes off, is he just a regular poodle
I don't even know if you call it regular what he does at home. And I say that to people at school, because they see him like this, laying down doing nothing, and I was like, oh, he's so calm, he's so so laid back, and like, well, when he's at home, he is not like this. He is bouncing off the walls. You have another dog, Chloe. He's always pestering her and our kids. He is not a he's a normal dog at home. Yes, he is crazy at home. So, but yeah.
Any other sheriff? Any other therapy dogs in the future? Is it something that you'd entertain? I guess again, it goes back to if you had another handler that would be willing to. Maybe you're willing to shake that on. He loves to be in your office.
Well, yeah, because we play all the time when he comes to my office. I don't know. It was, I've said all the great things about it. It was inexpensive. I think it's well worth it. We get good results with him, but we're an office. We have about 70 people that work at the sheriff's office, and maybe perhaps I wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no right off the top, because we do have more than one school resource officer. But right now we don't have anything in the works for another one. Dale is able to go to the different places we need, and Alex is willing to do that. So right now, no. But I would be less pessimistic now than I was in the beginning when he first came and asked me about this.
Last question for the both of you. What is your favorite part about working with a canine sidekick in both capacities? As his supervisor, so to speak, and as his handler?
Well, you know what? I never thought of that. I am Dale's supervisor.
Yeah, you are.
aren't I?
You are.
Yeah,
He writes your checks, Dale.
Yeah, I don't think he cares about that, though. What I like is when he comes to the office and comes to my door, it gives me 5 minutes, I think, not to have to worry about being the sheriff. Dale and I play squeak, and we throw the ball down the hallway, and he runs back and forth, and it's 5 minutes out of the day that I can relax just a little bit. And it's fun, but when he comes in there or flops down,
And lays
belly
his
on
legs
the
out
floor,
like he does.
someone said on Facebook, that's a splot.
Yeah.
When he splots down on the floor and just hangs out, it's relaxing.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not having direct interaction with him. I like that part. It's a little break in the day. And
You need that, given your...
Well, I
given
enjoy
your
it.
days,
That's
yeah.
what I enjoy.
Yeah.
Alex, what
And
about
for
you?
me, just seeing just seeing people interact with him. You know, obviously kids, but just adults too. You know, seeing people.
He's
Yeah.
kind of an adult kid when he's around Dale.
seeing people interact with him, doing exactly what we want him to do. Break down those barriers between us, make us appear more human, and just kind of relieve the stress and anxiety of people.
And I think he's made you almost famous.
Almost,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if that's
You've
a
been
perk
on
or
a lot
not,
of TV shows and radio
Yeah.
stations.
But yeah, that's the plus for me, seeing him interact with people.
Yeah,
So.
and the breaking down the barriers, I think, is a big thing, especially with young people.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the plus for me is actually getting to meet him. So this has been a pleasure to talk with you, Sheriff and Alex, and of course, come on over here,
No,
Dale.
come on.
Let's say goodbye to the audience. Yes, thank you so much for inviting us to your work day. Okay. Thanks again to
Yeah,
the both
thank
of
you.
you, and we appreciate you talking to us about the therapy
Oh,
program.
thank you. I enjoyed having you here.
Thank you.
And thank you to our viewers of the Paw Report for traveling with us to Effingham to learn about the pet therapy program and Deputy Dale. Until next time, we'll see you then. Hey, bud.
Dave's Decorating Center is a proud supporter of the Paw Report on WEIU. Dave's Decorating Center features the Mohawk Smart Strand Silk Forever Clean Carpet. Dave's Decorating Center, authorized Mohawk Color Center in Charleston.
The Paw Report on WEIU is supported by Rural King, America's farm and home store, livestock feed, farm equipment, pet supplies, and more. You can find your store and more information regarding Rural King at ruralking.com.
At Tender Touch Grooming, we groom dogs of all sizes and breeds tenderly. Our team pampers your furry friend with care because every pet deserves a tender touch. Appointments are available via text at 217-317-9489.
It's almost impossible to imagine life without internet today. It keeps us connected to work, school, and loved ones, no matter where they are. Effingham Fiber Internet now serves over 1 million locations, providing reliable, consistent service that keeps these connections strong. From vibrant cities to quiet rural areas, fiber broadband is a key driver of economic growth. Effingham is dedicated to supporting communities and enhancing lives through this essential technology. Learn more at FidiumFiber.com.